All right, so this is a Planet Pizza Hut update. Planet Pizza Hut fitness update. I just got back from Planet Fitness, and as I sit here outside, generally what happens is you'll get joggers and walkers and what have you. Because for anybody that understands the us and them dynamic, who's watched the Jordan Peele movies, the spiritually alive versus the spiritually dead, is when you're a living being and you have the life force with you, the spirit of life, then the dead come along because they need to draw their life from somewhere else. You understand? But getting back on topic before, just in case we get interrupted, just like yesterday, which that individual came from um, Pizza Hut, Planet Fitness. That's a Planet Fitness member, and the people in the parking lot that interrupt me was from Planet Fitness. And I just want to show you how that community of Planet Fitness is all completely over here in this neighborhood, as a compound or a confined or a community. And they all work together. They have a hive mind. It's like invasion of the body snatchers, so on and so forth. But I don't need this to prove my point because this is stark discrimination. When I walked 5 miles, which takes me an hour to get to the gym, the gentleman at the front desk, after scanning my card, said they had to cancel my membership due to the events yesterday. Now, the individual that was harassing me, this individual wasn't called, that provoked the incident. This individual still has their membership. This individual comes in there high and intoxicated all the time. And there are several other individuals that do that because, Planet Pizza Hut works a um, prostitution industry along with the pedophile industry, because these individuals, they give a nod, they go to the back room. It's all on their camera, and I'm gonna have to call an authority because I have less rights than a prison inmate. I'm not allowed to work in the two cities next to me. I get turned down for every job. There's something going on with my internet and communication. Okay, where the only way that you can communicate out is through Grinder, which got somehow shut down. And I don't really roll. You know what I'm saying? But I can't even communicate out. My family, my mother, one of her eyes shines. Okay, if you ever seen Terminator or something. It's not red, okay, but she did recently have eye surgery. Okay, so maybe it's something to do with that. Maybe I just caught a reflection, but it wasn't like a reflection. It was like a flashlight, okay, where her pupil was. It was very interesting. So when I seen this, I'm kind of like her reaction today when I was like, well, they canceled my membership, and I just asked to get reimbursed, and they wouldn't reimburse my membership. And there's several things wrong here. You guys, after walking an hour to Planet Pizza Hut, is I was assumed guilty before innocent. And before leaving yesterday, I told the young lady, next time I get harassed in here, I'm going to call the police. And it just so happened, oh, my membership is canceled. I go to the gym 1 hour a day. These individuals cannot control individuals harassing me for 1 hour. And if you go back through the camera during my span of time at that gym, it's very evident and it's very self-aware that my membership was canceled. The brother on the camera looked nervous. He knew he was doing something wrong. They were not nervous about me. It was about a phenomenon that they couldn't control. These individuals are as locusts, is described in the Bible, as Sodom and Gomorrah. And, I asked the Heavenly Father once, because I had so much phenomena coming at me to strike the town blind. They're blind out here, most of them. And because there was different groups I asked them to strike out a knee. These things, these phenomena, which are supernatural, I cannot make up. And it happened. It's very obvious out here. People are moving different. Okay, they can't really see. But this thing happened in Lot's day in Sodom and Gomorrah. And but as a black man in woke society with Black Lives Matter and all of these things, I was guilty before I was innocent. The woman yesterday didn't ask if I need any help or anything like that. None of the patrons in the gym came to help me when I was being harassed, and they've seen this for a year. Okay? And on my way out, one gentleman tried to stop me as if he had an issue with me, which is actually one of my neighbors. I know which one it is. Okay? That lives behind me, okay? Or in front of me, okay? He stopped me at the door, like, you flipped over the bench. And I'm like, the reason is because when I get harassed here and I flip over a bench, it's for me to receive some form of customer service. They know exactly what's going on with me here. Like I said, when I drink coffee, it attracts more people. And then people, what they started doing was getting coffee and trying to mimic me and figure out what I was doing. This is a subspecial behavior. This is that when the Eye of Egypt or whatever they call Ray or whatever, the god of the dead. These individuals are spiritually dead. Okay, they're incompetent, um, um, and they think like inbreds. There's no way around it. Something is severely wrong with their mental ability, which is very subhuman. It's at a subhuman level. It's almost as if they're trying to learn how to be human again. And again, the thumbs up, which is also a sign for anal sex, Planet Fitness and what have you. It's a $10 gym. It's an infrastructure place, just like Walmart, that when you come into the Lucifer Pyramid, these are businesses that are guaranteed to never fail. Okay, so they feel that they could get away with bloody murder. Unfortunately, I watched Planet Fitness degrade Pizza Hut into a tenderloin where pedophilia, fellatio, and all sorts of prostitution was damn near encouraged, and people would hang out there not to work out, and you could tell who's there to work out, and most people wasn't there to work out. It was the strangest phenomena around me, and it's some subhuman communication situation, maybe because they're blind. You know what I'm saying? That's how, just like dogs sniff each other's butts. Maybe that's what they do. They give each other fellatio or something like that. I see women's coming out the back room with a limp or looking distressed or sad or what have you, and they get their little drugs or their money or whatever they do it for. But honestly, I think a lot of them do it for free. I think they're having some form of identity crisis. I'm looking at these individuals as Steve Irwin. It is a communal phenomena, okay, that is very bizarre. And I gotta say, man, it was just like they stole my bike there and they returned it. This is on camera. And so I'm asking this brother, I'm like, okay, so you cancel my membership. Let me get reimbursed for my time here. Oftentimes I have to clean up after these people. We know what the Walmart dynamic is, how people are sloppy and, leave a mess behind them, crumbs, or they don't put their weights up. This is very immature behavior for the way adults should be conducting themselves. And I don't get paid to clean up after them. I applied for the job. I got 2 college degrees. And one of those is in personal training. I was having issues getting a job with 2 college degrees. Even at Dollar Tree and Dollar General, I applied for several jobs and positions in grocery stores, so on and so forth. And I was unable to get hired, man, because it was like, I don't know what was going on. But with 2 college degrees and I have excellent work history experience, I can't get a job or something like that. So this discrimination, doesn't pertain. And the young lady that was working there the day that I was at the gym, going back to this conversation, it was an African American sister. So this is not about black or white, which they'll try to spin it into a racial thing. But if I have to use discrimination, I will, because the fact of the matter is this. They are completely foreign to the plight of what a African American go through, which seems like the guise of what this woke culture is about, because the individuals that are woke are not. So it seems like not only a propaganda machine that is doubled as some type of litmus measure for some new breed to fit within society that is subhuman. Okay, there's no way around it. But this situation has to be fixed. My situation has to be right. I have a right to exercise as people in jail. You know what I'm saying? They have a right to. I committed no crime. I was directly harassed over the course of a year and several things like that. I never got customer service. I sought it. Okay, the people acted so weird and foreign. Okay, and like I said, that day nobody came up and helped me. Everybody, and that proves intent and guilt. Also, the fact they canceled my membership and the fact that not one individual came up there, even if I was crying out for help. You know what I'm saying? As a black man in America. So in terms of Trump and make America great again, I'm not gung ho for that. This is. There's something very wrong here, and these are basic, simple things. I did never complain about my bike, but it's like now at the point you cancel my membership, you're definitely gonna pay for the bike. Okay, you're definitely gonna reimburse me for my money, and I gotta tell you, my mother and my sister, you know, so far what I've did, they're off and on, but they act very bizarre and strange. They do not act like I've known them longer than their husbands. Their husbands act strange. They seem bizarre to the plight of what African Americans go through in this country, which is very bizarre. And I'm not big on BLM or anything else like that. You know, I was a kid that was born in the 80s. I grew up in the 90s. I'm very unbiased. Okay. Like I said, unfortunately, I came from Walmart Corp. Very few people escape. Some individuals don't. You know, most of these individuals that work for Walmart, which is umbrella with Planet Fitness and the infrastructure, double as employees on, you know, webcam sites such as ChatterBait, so on and so forth. And there are several copies and clones of these individuals. They use hologram technology. You know, I'm aware I'm in the technology crew, but when you feel that you could just get away with anything, there is a problem. And you can't tell me that there's justice in this country, so on and so forth. So, you know, I need to be reimbursed for the bicycle. You know, they owe me for clearing out that back room of a lot of that sex traffic activity. And I sat in that chair and waited for anybody. You know, I looked out for them. You know what I'm saying? And all I wanted, you're talking about individuals. And these individuals that go to this gym, they work there. All right. Some of them just beam down or whatever and come into the building, so on and so forth. They are employees of the gym, but they are staged. So I'm aware of all this with Walmart, how people buy things and return things to keep the flow of currency, so on and so forth, because it's impossible to keep that establishment afloat unless you have money moving. All right. But they considered me to be a threat. But why? I was only there for 1 hour a day. And so I would walk to the gym 1 hour. And then when I would get to the gym, I would sit in the lobby and drink my coffee. There was rumors and speculations that they thought that I was using some type of performance enhancing drug. Nah, it's just when I go to the gym, when I work out, I work. When I go to work, I work. Okay, this is what I mean by this. People are very lazy. Okay, they are very lazy. This new generation, this godless culture, very lazy. Okay, and we want to say that this is God country. It's not. You know, for any individual that reads the book of Obadiah, the country that exalts itself like an eagle is destroyed in 1 hour. That's why we are hesitant playing double dutch, you know, fully engaging in this Israel-Hamas war. But there is a bigger war at hand, a spiritual war between the living and the spiritually deceased. Okay? You know, you got, I told you on Field Trip, you got 1.4 million plots left available in America. Okay? But last year, over 3 million people died. You know, so if you only have 1.4 million plots left, that means only 1.4 million people can be buried this year. And we can't have any more than that die and get married unless they go to work and make a lot more plots. And how come cemeteries never seem to expand or grow despite all the people that pass away? Okay? These people are still walking around on Earth, or they're getting taken underground, or they're getting consumed, cannibalized. There's several things that goes along with these things in order to keep our waste management in check. You know, a lot of humans take things for granted and don't have any understanding of how this world works. Okay, me, I am an athlete. I would say that I'm in much better than average physical condition. I've had old ladies outwalk me in my neighborhood. I've seen people teleport and come out of portals. You know, it's like I'm living in the Matrix. But the strangest phenomenon of all is the tenderloin, the Pizza Hut tenderloin, which is at Walmart. All of this stuff is on camera, okay? And all the FBI or government agency has to do is look at the time span that I was at the gym from opening hours before 10 a.m. And they will notice that there's a lot more traffic during the times I go there for that time period. Okay. And that during the rest of the course of the day at the gym, a lot less people walk up to that front desk, and they're attracted to energy. You know what I'm saying? But while I sit there in that chair, they're attracted to that. So all these speculations and rumors that I heard behind my ear about PED, so on and so forth, I was always open for any type of situation that was going on. But after this harassment of 41 years, I better not get bugged whatsoever ever again, okay, for any reason. And I have to contact some form of law enforcement to make this right. And I know that this country is under duress because law enforcement is no longer operating as they typically did, but rather they are taking particular interest in particular places. Like, take for instance, the Hy-Vee gas station has a police officer in it. And they're dealing with individuals or citizens on a one-by-one basis. What do they know? That a lot of people have spiritually died. It's the end of an age. And maybe they're in transition. Sometimes I had to put a weight bench at the gym along my side, and people would literally come up, and it'd be just a line, like a zombie apocalypse of people that would just, you know what I'm saying? And they walk by and they look at you, and they bite their lower lip, and they make sexual innuendo gestures, so on and so forth. And if I don't have a track history of vandalism or being violent, then something particularly went wrong with Planet Fitness. And my concerns, or my typical customer service as a paying patron, despite all their patrons that go there for free and do sex acts, okay, it needs to be investigated. It's severe discrimination, and it's special, okay? That's what it really is. But if I have to use discrimination, I will, because not every black person is the same either, okay? It is a Nazi establishment. They do the Nazi sign like this, and they're supposed to be Democrats, so on and so forth. It's like a buffet of evidence of everything I'm saying. And I need to be reimbursed. And I need to be compensated for my pain and suffering. And, they all know that they're wrong. During the time that I flipped over the chair and I was crying out for help, any one of those patrons that went up there could have helped me out. But if they didn't help me out, this shows a hive mind, a shared mind, and all of them had a shared intention, okay, to come against me. And the fact of the matter is plain and simple. If you are a straight male, okay, and you're trying to do right and do the right thing in society, point blank and period, these wall Martians, these tenderloinites, all right, they come after you. Okay, you get swarmed. That is the truth. All right, you get swarmed. I've had troubles following me all of my days, from former place I work, IPL, Walmart. Like I said, these bugs are attracted to biting me on the top of the head. I don't know why. But it's just interesting. I got kicked off the internet on YouTube for talking about the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Everything turned against me. I had to fight for my free speech. I had to fight for everything. So I'm expecting a big payout. I'm expecting a big investigation. I'm expecting whatever parties of masonry or whatever to get taken down, because it's a Masonic establishment. The worker gear around the thumb sign at Pizza Hut, Planet Pizza Hut Fitness, connotates, you see, like bugs, never mind, connotates the union. The union is the beehive and what have you. And these individuals, when you have a free community part of the infrastructure like that, these individuals, we got the closed down bar down the street called the Flamingo or something like that. And across the street, you have these hotels where a lot of business happens, and the police never stop there. You got a lot of retired police around that pedophilia and all of that at Planet Pizza Hut Fitness. And you know that this situation is unbiased because the police are even affected. Okay, they were engaging in some of these weird deviant acts in the back room and what have you. So I've seen a lot of astonishing things. So it's there's more of a motive of what happened to me than what they're trying to say. And it's like a little kid that's trying to hide behind a curtain. You can see their shoes. Their logic and reasoning skills, their communication skills, is very amateur. All right, it's facade deep. Okay, behind there is nothing else. They're defiled. Okay, there's no persona, there's no depth of character, so on and so forth. Um, they're workers. They're in the entanglement that Will Smith talked about at the red table with Jada. That's a real thing. You know, they are without mixture, and they're mixed together in the hive in the bottomless pit. Okay, within their soul, and there's us and there's them. Okay, that's what it is. Um, you know, um, I was able to communicate with them just through hand signs and signals to train them to be self aware enough to recognize that they were at fault. And like someone who is guilty, when they are at fault, they try to cover their tracks by subliminally getting rid of me. And you can see that this is a work. That's how the Masonic situation. And yesterday, I had all those phenomena happen at the same time, along with that Planet Fitness patron that harassed me for just walking along the path, okay, inside of a public park, okay, in my subdivision, okay. None of that, and brought out a golf club, got his photograph. You know, all of these people go to the same gym. All of these people get along as a community. The gym has slogans like "You belong." Why would you need to say that to a human being? Why would you need to say something like that? You know, you could tell that these entities are not human. Okay, they're alien in some form of the way and reason, and I did my best, but for 1 hour they could not leave me alone. Um, they have an excessive thirst towards certain appetites, predominantly sex. They solicit it out on the floor, and then they go into the back room where members who need a black card. You don't need a black card to get back there. A lot of individuals don't pay, and like I said, you know, when you have the flamingo in that environment where people could go in that gym and take a shower and people are getting blowjobs and so on, you have a place where a lot of STDs and HIV, because, you know, a lot of heroin seems to be the craze or whatever in Independence and what have you, tweakers, so on and so forth, come in there. And you got all of this disease that's getting spread out. You got, you know, my mother and sister, God help them, but they act very suspect. And it's like, I've been accused of having things such as HIV or some type of STD, and it's like, I can't get a girlfriend, I can't get a job, I don't even have a friend. I've been accused of several things, and it's all not true. And, you know, I worked on myself, I got healthier, and no matter how hard I work in society, whenever I do well, you know, I get removed from the equation, whether it's a job or whether it's this Pizza Hut place. You know, the only time somebody would look at an individual like me that minds his own business is when they have a lot of dirt or they need a sacrifice or a fall guy. Lo and behold, we got a movie coming out called The Fall Guy. Okay, you know, starring that brother that was in Drive around the same time. Look at the synchronicity of all these things. It couldn't be any louder. Okay, I've been talking about targeting for the longest amount of time. Okay, and what it is a communal based thing. It's a special thing, and there's us and there's them. Okay, they share a brain. They have a hive mind. It reminds me of the vampire story called Strain. Okay, but they are the undead. They are the living dead. And in order to have life, they have to draw their life force for somewhere. And I suppose that goes into the fellatio, and that maybe that's why they do it. But it's something special, as in when dogs sniff each other's anus and shit. Like it is very bizarre. You know, they have lost themselves. You know, and I've been left to fend for myself and thrown to the wolves by my parents. And I know my mother and my sister and my father-in-law and my brother-in-law. And I know that they're Masons, and this has got to be a Masonic thing where you got to fend for yourself. You got to put your dukes up. It's either your fist or your ass. You understand what I'm saying? And society turns away. But then society cannot then work against me at the same time because they're expecting for individuals to do some weird type of sex act that causes them to die spiritually, and then they start losing their memory and everything, and it sounds like they're walking amongst the trees. Okay, as in Genesis. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going on. Okay. And I haven't done anything. I can't even have a bike. My car was taken from me. I need to be reimbursed for the times I went to college because I haven't been allowed a job. I have been discriminated severely against, not by the entire city and things of this nature. Everybody owes me a lot. Okay, um, for the time being out of commission for approximately a year and a half, I'm not going to. I don't plan on going back to work. After I haven't worked for a year and a half, you cannot ask me then, okay, to go back to work, okay, after stopping work for that amount of time, after 40 years old, okay. As far as this spiritual pyramid, the lady at the desk when I walked in the entrance told me that I could only do 40 years because I was going to do 50. Okay, for those who are, maybe CIA level and up, she said I could only do 40 years because I was going to do 50. And she kind of got annoyed by that. She was like, you can only do 40. So I was like, all right, fine. I'll do 40 years. I'll go back to Hyperia. My 41st birthday rolled around. I'm still here. Okay, I see the same commercials, like the Dawn Power Plus commercial, which are usually the commercials that were filmed during entrance long time ago. Okay, being aired right now. So I know I gotta be around the exit of this pyramid. I don't know what's taking so long for me to get out of here. Okay, but in the meantime, while I'm here, I've been eating refried beans every single day. All the Masons owe me. Everybody owes me. Okay, because I survived and I won and I conquered all threats. Saint no one. All right, and you have to fend for yourself out here. It's a mandatory thing and a secret that you gotta sacrifice your children, and it's really not putting individuals through the fire. It's sacrificing your children. That's it. That's what's going on with individuals that have children. Those children are up equitably for a harvest, and when you have life inside of you, they want to use you as a sacrifice. But let me tell you something. These weird deeds or whatever, I'm a 41-year-old man. You could lose your life coming up to me, making sexual advances, not even saying hello or anything like. That's utmost disrespectful. It's animal and it's beast deal, and it's unacceptable. All right, you have a right to lose your life if you do that to a man. All right, and no cop or none of that is gonna fucking stop me. All right, you know, uh, I love their kids more than they do for me experiencing this. I sent out text messages that were loud and outrageous and even radical, to my mother and sister because I was hoping for a federal agent to look at that and see the trigger words and look into my life. Hopefully that worked. I believe it did. There's somebody's got to, and somebody's had to figure out this guy is crying out. My name literally means the one who cried out. Okay, my first name. That's what it means. Okay. Then after the Mandela effect, it changed to one who rules. But if you can still go online, they call them quantum pollution. You can look at my name and it will be the one who cried out. That's what I did. That correlates with John, and that correlates with a lot of Masons go by John, so on and so forth. So, I suppose maybe I'm a traveling man. Who knows? But individuals call me Ray and stuff like that, and it's like I know Christ, but I don't know who Ray is. I had to learn all of these things as on the fly as I'm being accused of these things by society, and this is just me getting out 1 hour a day. So what we're really talking about is individuals who didn't mind my harassment, defamation of character, manipulation, devoiding me of my not only my spiritual rights, but my physical rights in the land and in this country for, it's literally bugs. And I hate doing this because this means like for them, the other things, it means you don't want to know, like some fallacial thing. It's fucking insane. All right. These individuals are insane. All right. They do it a lot. But I was denied, basic human rights. Okay. for over a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? My jobs, all of them were sabotaged. Okay. Um, I got let go of Walmart for inconclusive data. Okay. And what scares individuals in society is a black man that knows how to communicate and his way around a book, who is educated and articulate. And that is a discrimination as well, to be an educated black man. And so I find this to be very nefarious. Okay. Uh, and I am owed. Okay. I was guilty before innocent at an establishment I pay where most individuals don't seem to pay and are sex workers. All right, that beam down from underground and ships and things like that into this place that stay there overnight. And of all of the illegal activity, dude, I'm the problem as they pass and transmit uh, 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 probably STDs. Individuals come in that are sick off of that H, giving blowjobs for money or favors or whatever the fuck is going on in there, and it's like they didn't have the self control to allow me 1 year or 1 hour inside of the gym to exercise. I exercise 1 hour and then I go home. When you look at the other individuals around there, you could count the individuals who are actually there to exercise. And you will see that the traffic during the time I go shouldn't be as heavy as it is. And you can compare it to now. After they cancel my membership, I guarantee you there will be a lot fewer people going there. So what they did by canceling my membership is admit to guilt. They took none of the necessary steps of an individual crying out for help. If a woman was getting raped, I presume they would have just threw up their hands and said, well, it's nothing I can do about it. This is the type of environment we live in. It's very sick. All right. I wanted to have kids when I was younger, but I would be damned to have kids here. I am not in agreement with the fuck shit. This shit is highly deplorable and subhuman. All right. And I expect results. All right. Or else the U.S. is not God's country. And the U.S. needs to be under indictment by their own government agencies that sets up their own citizens under public watch. All right. I know a lot. All right. I know a lot. A lot of people know Ray. But the reason why I was confusing, the God that you guys used to pray to or know as Ray was me. Okay. But that was before Earth. Okay, that was before this age. Let me put it that way. It was before this age. Okay, my job was Ray, and I worked at cases. And what I did, it's a job. You're inside of a black cube. Okay, basically, and I worked on there, and it was to help individuals with their decision-making processes as their minds start to shut down, or they were in compromising situations, whether they were intoxicated or whatever. Okay. So I know a lot, okay? I came from outside of this pyramid, okay? Outside of this beige Rubik's Cube, the technology cube. I haven't been to the other 7 cubes, but I know this one pretty well, okay? And Planet Pizza Hut is one of those corporations that cannot go unpassed and think it's invincible because everything is umbrella with Walmart, so on and so forth. And these people are drug addicts that work in the underground and whatever, and they barely make it. Okay, I know about all of that. I had to go through all of it. You could look at my charts from Walmart. My readings are very high readings. All right, very profound. I was studied by Merrill Lynch, so on and so forth. So